badass. That's
And once again,
Wow.
hello, call Third and Long HQ. You are with us once again the Thursday night. The Third and Long podcast is on the air. My name is Shane Harris. There's just three of us this week. Our baby's working his little socks off, bless him. Down below me is the OG podcast, Mr. Oliver Anderson, and sporting the goofiest headgear I've ever seen is Mr. Philip Perrins. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Oh, I'm super duper. And just for the record, you got me this. Like you got me this snazzy hat. I know I haven't been on the pod for the last 2 weeks, so like I was just about to say before I came online that I actually wanted to look like Shane today, but I didn't have the guts to shave all my hair off, so I thought about like wearing like a cap, a band T-shirt, and I was going to do my best Welsh impression while we're talking.
Well, I thought you were just going to wear one of those bowl caps, like they do, you know.
The what?
Have one of those bowl caps like they do in the TV shows and stuff like that.
I do have one at school.
I'm not surprised the media teacher, has one.
Boys, not being funny, I am very much baldy and the big fella, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're two rolled in one. I believe they have asked a certain Mr. Perrins and a certain Mr. Baby Hope to come on their show at some point in the foreseeable future.
Have they?
Yeah. I got asked a little. I got asked on Twitter that they want me to pop on the show so they can complete Thanos' gauntlet, because then they could have all four of the pod lads on their show, and I was the last one remaining.
If they ask you now, they can probably book me for next afternoon, I expect.
It's true. You need to go book me in now because you're not going to see me till October.
You'll be back, mate. You love us and you missed us too much when you were away. I mean,
yeah, 100%. I did. I actually did. I talk to you guys all the time. It sucks when I'm not on the pod on the Thursday, and I can't wait till we actually come back on Mondays as well. I miss watching it.
About 10 weeks, 7, 10, 9 weeks, something like that.
Dragging, absolutely dragging.
No, it's not long.
I'm actually looking forward to pre-season games.
I told you
before we crack on the news, before we crack on the news, when do the Linkoff Titans play their first games?
So our first game is in about 2 or 3 weeks' time against a local school, and I broke the news to the team. They were really, really excited, and we're just cranking up just some training sessions starting from next week. I'm currently looking for some sponsorship, by the way, because we live in a conservative Britain. There's no funding for school sports at all. So if we have anybody listening to the pod that wants to contribute and be a sponsor of our American football jerseys, please, put your answers on a postcard or DM us, or just tag us in on a X or Facebook or Instagram or wherever you are listening to us on, and help our dream come true of the Lincroft Titans looking the part, but also starting their season with a dub.
Hell yeah!
Do you know what? If we win our first game, I'm gonna literally walk around like I'm Bill Walsh or Bill Belichick.
Insufferable.
I am literally. I might even buy a ring. I'm going to be so insufferable because I would be undefeated as a coach. Like every argument that we'll have, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, but baby, I'm undefeated as a coach. I think I know what I'm talking about."
You were saying about conservative Britain, right? You called me a Tory MP the other day. I have no idea what that means.
No, I didn't. I said don't. I mean, I'm not allowed to say my... No, I said don't vote Tory. I didn't call you a Tory MP.
You did? The Twitter exchange is there for all to see, and I was like, what's that? Has anything to do with hip-hop?
That's true, because you didn't answer my question. Anything that gets brought up, you never answer the question. You literally go, we must have ruined your childhood.
It's not by me.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do literally all week in between shows. We literally just rip it into each other.
For people that don't know us, we actually like each other. Like,
I know, we do actually kind of sometimes see each other out of shows as well. It's great.
Yes, we do. I wouldn't spend a lot of my money to go up and see him in Bedford if I didn't like the boy, you know? I mean, we try and drag you out, but you know what it's like trying to get blood out of a stone sometimes.
Mate, time. I literally, we live in a busy world, my friend. Live in a busy world. Before we go on to the news, Phil, you can never be Belichick because you have too much charisma and character to be Belichick, and too much.
Thank you.
And a sense of humour for starters. And you.
Thank you.
Well, but can we do your best impression of "We're on to Cincinnati"?
The what?
We're on to Cincinnati.
Oh,
Do you know?
oh, do you want me to...
He's lost. He's lost.
I missed all that. What would you? We're on to
Do you not get the
Cincinnati.
reference?
No.
So one press conference. It was after the videos of us videoing Giants, and Belichick answered every question. We're going, "We're on to Cincinnati."
Oh, I
We're
can
on
do
to
that.
Cincinnati.
Hold on.
That was every question.
We're on to
Can
Cincinnati.
anyone else see the tumbleweed going behind me in the screen, or is it just me?
We're on to Cincinnati.
There you go. A show-stopping performance.
Right, let's get
Boy,
it done.
shut up, Brett.
Let's start the show.
This is the news in 60.
As it is the news in 60. So let's start with the big news on Monday. It came out where Justin Jefferson gets paid. The Vikings star wide receiver has been handed a contract extension of 4 years worth at $140 million, make him the highest non-quarterback player in the league. I can see Mr. Perrin shaking his head. The 49ers have extended not Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel even, but running back star Christian McCaffrey to a new 2-year deal worth $24 million.
Yep.
What does
That's
it mean to
McCaffrey.
Ayuk and Deebo? We'll discuss that in a minute. Browns have extended head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry. No deals, no terms have come out of that one. Cam Sutton has rejoined the Steelers after being found by the police after he decided to go on the run from them. The Buccaneers have signed Sterling Shepard to a 1-year deal today, and we learned of the very sad news last weekend of the passing of Cowboys Hall of Famer Larry Allen. He died while on holiday with his family at the weekend at the age of 52, I believe he was at the time. And that was this week's news. Let's start off with that side news of Larry Allen, one of the greatest left guards, team of the 90s decades. Obviously, he finished his career up with San Francisco, unfortunately.
Needless, like genuinely needless shade.
I think Phil got a straight one then. No need for that.
I was like, well, that wasn't needed. Like, why are you attacking us?
It was a somber moment in the show.
No,
I know.
yeah,
It's a slight dig at Phil and the 49ers. I mean, I haven't been able to take the mick out of him for 2 weeks because he hasn't been on the show. So, it's all this built up, pent up. I mean, Larry Allen, NFL all-team decade of the 90s and the noughties, 100th anniversary all-time team, Hall of Famer, 6th first-time All-Pro, second team All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner, 30, and he's also a Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. Not much more to say about the guy, apart from he was an absolute legend. Like I said, he was 52, so he was young. It's apparently he took his own life while on holiday with his family, which is incredibly sad.
Is that how it's come out? Is it that?
I didn't know that.
That's what his family announced last week. Yeah, that he took his own life. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm hoping it's wrong and it's something medical or something like that. But it just shows. I mean, we are in apparently Pride Month. Everyone's all changing their colours to the rainbows, and yes, it all needs all that as well. But let's not forget, it is also Mental Health Month.
Yes, it is.
And that always gets pushed to the side. Every time. I mean, 3 of us on here all suffer with mental health ourselves. Mr. Perrins had time away at the back end of last year. I had time off, before I came on the show. I've suffered with anxiety and depression. But it's still a real taboo for us men to talk about it, and it's not a good thing at all. And it's the more we talk about mental health, the more it is better for the younger generation, like my kids, to come out and like feel okay to talk about. Look, I'm feeling really down. Instead of trying to bottle it all up, it's still the macho way of men going, "Yeah, I'm all right, I'm fine," and then they'll just go and literally cry in the corner without no one knowing because they don't want to talk it out. They don't want to give up this persona of being weak because they're talking about their feelings, and it's something's got to change, and it's got to change really, really quick because otherwise it's going down. I think I read a stat of 1 in 3 suicides were men under the age of 30, which is ridiculous.
And
I don't know what you gentlemen feel about it. Obviously, you've struggled with it yourselves.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult, and it's not nothing that actually I haven't really mentioned on air, but like you said, from like October till December time, I took a prolonged period away from work because I had a massive mental breakdown. I just had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, and it was really, really difficult. And I eventually got to a point where you can't go any deeper, and luckily I had like friends such as you guys who were, I talked to every single day, and you were brilliant, and I had like a really good support network around us, and like my loved ones and my family, and just to know that I had people around me, and it took me a long time to really, really think about and I cherish all the good things that I had still going on in my life, and just to like hear of like an NFL legend, if he has like taken his own life. But if men's mental health awareness month, but there is still that stigma, and I see it in schools as well, where like even boys won't talk about it. They'll just be, it's put down to peer pressure or just being one of the lads, or they're not supposed to. And it's even though we talk about it openly, it's still very much a societal shift of not wanting to talk about it openly still. Because we talk about in like PHSE lessons, or like we call them life skills lessons, about like being open about your mental health awareness and having all these facilities open and available to lots of young adults. But it's still that stigma of, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to feel like I'm putting on a burden. I was talking to a colleague last night, and she said the same thing about when she phones in sick, she hates it because she feels like she's letting so many people down because she's not going to be in the next day because she's sick. And it's like, it's such a weird mentality to have, but we all go through that. So yeah, my thoughts generally go to like Larry Allen, because he was a phenomenal player who's just he played for the Cowboys, and he will be remembered for playing for the Cowboys. He won't be remembered for his one season with the 49ers, because at that point you're kind of already on the checkout train anyway. But like he kept Troy Aikman safe for much longer than probably the 49ers fans would have wanted him to. He
and
looked
a bit
after
of
Emmitt Smith.
Troy Allen as well, was it not Troy Allen? Tony Romo. He was the other one as well.
Yeah,
Troy Allen.
Tony Romo as well. So he looked after a lot of these quarterbacks that we see on TV, and we can marvel on TV as well. Like Troy Aikman, he won 3 Super Bowls. Tony Romo was an almost, and now he's a lauded pundit on NFL TV. But yeah, it's I'm really, really, really sorry about like Larry Allen. It's an unfortunate end for anyone. But yeah, if you do have problems, guys, please speak out, reach out, because there are people out there that generally do want to help and want to listen to you.
Most definitely. I mean, it's, even if it is, even if you want to tweet one of us, decide in one of our DMs you don't want to talk to one of your mates, we're here, we'll listen, we're talking, at the end of the day, and I'd tell you there's a few other guys I know I speak to on other podcasts as well who would say exactly the same.
Yeah.
I'd rather you talk and then feel you have to do it on your own.
I mean, we could, and I think I speak for everyone on this show, we could do a mental health podcast quite easily. Just sit there, shoot the shit, and talk about whatever's going on in our minds. But it does take a lot to speak out and say you're not happy, you're not doing too good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's kind of steer the conversation back to football a little bit. As much as I appreciate the fact that it is Men's Mental Health Month, but the fact that just talking like this is really, sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of turning the gears in my mind, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm back to Larry Allen. Yeah. Did you know that at 6 weeks old he contracted meningitis and almost died? Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. I mean,
I did not know that. Wow.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, almost never had this guy's outstanding career what he had, because it was an outstanding career. So almost didn't have the gentleman that we had nowadays. And our thoughts and prayers truly go out to Larry's family, and rest in peace, big guy. Go and protect the guys up there in heaven. Rolling on to a little bit of other news, and a bit of something that's happened this week. As you know, general sale tickets for Wembley went out, and the season tickets.
Oh, he's pissed. Oh, he's pissed.
I am not the only one. I haven't got the figures in front of me at the moment, but this year's ticketing price has gone up 22% from last year.
Yeah.
I think it's 104 quid this year, and it's almost 140 this year, which is 140 this year. It's gone up a stupid amount of money. I mean, I know Baby's Hopes had to change to a cheaper tier to get tickets this year, because obviously the value is. I've had to pay extra amount of money for our tickets, and same as Phil, same as Shane, and same as Ollie has. But why is the NFL UK doing this? We are in the process of a credit crunch. We are struggling, with all this going on, money and energy bills and gas bills and all going through the roof. Let's squeeze even more money out of them. And I've noticed more tickets are being still available than I've ever seen before, like a week after tickets have gone on sale. Shane.
It's obvious. Corporations don't care about the little people. It's obvious. For God's sake, the NFL is starting to care less and less now. Not that they have done, not they have been massively fan friendly or wallet friendly. I mean, when you get like American things over here, like you've already got to look at the UFC. When the UFC was in its infancy, they couldn't book a bingo hall, right?
Good.
And the bigger it's gotten, especially over here as well, they are charging stupid money for tickets, and they're putting fights in London on live at 3 or 4 in the morning just to please the American fans. And people will still show up in droves and pay the money to watch it. The NFL's doing exactly the same thing because they know people will pay it. It'd be the same. It's the same with, I think, because I think a lot of us grew up watching American sports. I think we've all got that fascination with Americana. I can guarantee you there's 4 or 5, 6, 7 appliances in your house which is American. I would bet out the last 5 meals you ate, one of those is American. We all want to be secretly, I think we're all obsessed secretly with the American way of life. And them coming over here with their flagship sport, I think people are going to pay it no matter what. But before long, they're going to price out normal Joe Publics like us in favor of having celebrities and YouTubers and people that make stupid money just to go to these events and games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree on that one. But then again,
I mean, go on.
Sorry, carry on, mate.
No. This isn't necessarily like a UK fan problem, because if you look, and I know looking at like the San Francisco 49ers season tickets, they are ridiculously expensive to go watch the 49ers.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, how much did you think when you paid to go see the Patriots in Foxborough, Hendo? Was they quite expensive from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, so we're sitting roughly the same place at Tottenham, where I would be at Foxborough. Top corner, middle tier, so fairly decent seats for what I could see. And they were like $200+ each. I mean, this was what, 2 years ago now. $200+ each.
So
I mean, we went by a touchdown trip, so it was all part of the whole package altogether. So it wasn't, we didn't actually notice it because we paid so much money to come out of it. But it's still $200-$300.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to see the Bruins in Boston. We went over this year, and that was still 75 quid a ticket.
Yeah. Exactly, and this is like an American. I don't want to throw shade because our football, our Premier League football, isn't particularly great at this either. Because I know like the NBA tickets are ridiculously expensive. Only because I only see like things for like Golden State and the Lakers. Yes, they are in premium markets, but they are ridiculously expensive for what they are. So. And then you look over to like our Premier League, and I only know this because like half my family are Wolverhampton Wanderers fans, and they've hiked up the season ticket prices by 32% next year.
Ridiculous,
and this is like, like my brother-in-law said, like it's more expensive to watch Wolves play now than it was a couple of years ago when they were playing in Europe and signing the likes of Raul Jimenez and João Matinho, and they were actually competing for stuff. This is a Wolves team that people thought were going to get relegated this year. They survived mid-table, but they've racked up the season ticket prices by 32%. So I think this is more of a sports problem than an NFL UK problem. I just think they're just going along with the trend because as long as people will pay, they will keep doing it. As long as people will pay.
The thing is annoying. I will let you speak in a second, Shane. The annoying thing that I've got about this, that about March time they said that the prices were frozen this year. They weren't putting up the price. I thought, yes, sweet. I remember that. It's going to give me a bit of a, sweet. I'm not forking out 1,300 quid, I think it is, for the tickets. It's now bargain. It's more affordable. I can get around to it, but that's the annoying bit, that they've hiked up the prices more than anything else. Shano.
Phil, we were speaking about Premier League ticket prices. You went to see a club down the road from you against a club you actually follow. How much were those tickets for Luton Town, one of the lower teams? Well, they used to be in the Premier League, now they're not anymore. How much were they for matchday tickets there?
This was Boxing Day, and it was the worst money that I've ever spent. And it was hold on. My screen's gone off. No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, mate.
My screen's gone off. It was £56.
See, that's one of the lower teams in the Premier League, and I mean that stadium's no bigger than a shoebox. You got to walk through someone's living room to get the away. Exactly, you got to walk through the away tier. No, you walk through someone's living room to get to the away tier. I mean, I go and watch league football. Yeah, I go and watch League Two football. I go and watch Newport County now and again. That's £25, and that's League Two.
I'm the same with Cheltenham.
Yeah, with that you sit wherever you want, or you stand wherever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I sit in the Colin Farm stand at Cheltenham, which is the newer stand, and it's 24 quid for me. And then obviously it's a tenner each for the kids. Yeah, if I go to the old stand, it's 22 quid, but then again, you've got no leg room because it is an old stand and literally your knees are hiked up by your chest kind of thing. And then there is the standing one where it's like 14 quid to go and stand behind the one goal or behind the dugouts and all that as well. And then obviously the away end, which I don't really care about. So lower league football is a little bit more accessible, but it's still expensive. I mean, Cheltenham haven't raised their prices even despite them getting relegated this season. So that's always a positive anyway.
I wonder what Baby's like sort of opinion is on this then, because he supports a big League One team, Bolton. When that stadium was made, they were a Premier League team, and they had the likes of Yuri Zhokayev, Ivan Campo, JJ Okocha. They had stars playing for them. And I wonder
Nicholas Anelka, UC Askelainen.
Correct.
Exactly. Super Kev. So people would argue he peaked at Newcastle.
Alan Shearer peaked at Newcastle. So they were saying like how much is that for a big team in League One? I have to ask him when I see him when he finishes his shift tonight and wipes the sweat off his brow. Love him.
I could say something really embarrassing, but I'm not going to be that mean.
Oh, wow, you got gossip for us, Will? Okay, tell us after.
I don't know if he's told you guys or not, but I might divulge a bit later on.
Yes.
Right.
You're a bit of a delay.
I just in my head like, I bet I know what it is, and then I just laughed.
No comment.
Justin Jefferson, you were shaking your head at that, Mr. Perrins.
What?
All right. So let's forget the instance that Brandon Ayuk is holding out for a better contract. He's doing the same thing that Bosa did last year, and then the year before Debo was doing, and blah blah blah. Anyway, he's doing the exact same thing. He had a great season. He's working really well with Brock Purdy. He looks like, the 49ers with Purdy, Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo as the receiving core looks electric. What's happened with Justin Jefferson? Yes, you could argue that he is probably one of the best players in the NFL, and he probably is. Well, no, he is one of the best non-quarterback players in the NFL. But like this ridiculous amount of money, 34 million per season, is it? So he's just reset again. This is the problem when he just resets the market value for these players that you've got. Like elite wide receivers are going to want the same. Mid wide receivers are going to want above what they probably should be earning. It just has this horrible reverse pyramid kind of complex. Yeah, and I just think it's just. I hate it when there's records for like any new salary that particular players get, because I'm just going like, well, that's just set, like you said, like the snowball effect of other positions wanting the same when it's contract negotiation. Does Justin Jefferson deserve it? Probably, but then that's literally just completely destroyed the market again. And you're going to look at these teams now, and we've seen it in the off season. We saw it going into the draft, where some of these people are going, is it worth really investing into this player when I could just get a rookie who's younger, injury-free, and cheaper?
And again, as I always say, but there's no guarantee of success coming from the draft. You've really got
there was no you can say that about any form of sports, so couldn't you? Like you literally could go like, oh, there was no guarantee that when Aaron Rodgers left the Packers, he was going to be amazing when he went to the Jets, and that's why the Jets got paid so much for him. Oh. And there's no guarantee that Kirk Cousins is going to be even remotely the middest quarterback that he was before he did his ACL. Like there's always Achilles, sorry. So there's always a betting kind of thing, isn't it? You're always gambling. You're always kind of like assuming or hoping that any move that you make in professional sports is going to be worth it. And go with a draft or fork out with a lot of money. And then we've seen time and time before, people can fail in the draft, but then when you fork out for a lot of money, i.e. Deshaun Watson, it doesn't work, and you've kind of like screwed over your team, and you've screwed over your ownership, and you screwed over your finances because you're paying over the odds for a player that wasn't worth it to begin with. So, people that get paid so much more than us get to make these decisions. Am I right, Jones?
100%.
Oh yes. Before we go on to our team of the decades, Christian McCaffrey, I really don't get this. I want to hear what a 49er fan thinks of this. I would ask about wide receivers, but his team have no wide receivers to,
Oh yeah.
All right. So, he's not like he's got his extension, which is perfect. Now it's actually because he's got one more year on his contract, and then the extension actually essentially means he's going to be with us for another 3 years. Okay, so he's got that 2-year extension starting from next off season. So he's going to be a 49er for the next 3 years, guaranteed. From what I've looked at, like the details, he's not getting extraordinary amount of money. He's getting paid more, but it's not like he's going to be leading the team in terms of being the most expensive player behind Bosa and Trent Williams and Debo. I think it's a really, really good move. I mean, he's the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He was talked to be like one of the NFL MVP of the year. There's rumors coming out that he might be the cover athlete for Madden 25. Like,
oh dear.
there's
dear.
there's
your season's derailed.
there's rumors coming out about it. So I think it's worth it, and I'm surprised that they've made the deal now, which kind of makes me think that we drafted a wide receiver in the first round. We've extended Christian McCaffrey. Is Ayuk going to get traded at some point between now and September? That's literally all I'm thinking about. I don't think the 49ers suit up at the start of the season with Brandon Ayuk because he's holding out. He isn't turning up for mandatory training sessions now. We've drafted someone in the first round like we drafted him in the first round years ago. and we've just extended Christian McCaffrey first before we've gone to Brandon Ayuk. I don't think he's going to be with the 49ers much longer.
Ricky Pearsall was an insurance policy pick. That's exactly what he was. Same as Jordan Love when the Packers drafted him. He was an insurance policy pick, just in case Rodgers falls apart or goes somewhere else. And he did.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. about CMC, right? Me and my old buddy OBH, have an immense disdain for the Niners, and we really do. But I will say one thing. CMC is an incredible athlete, incredible player. I'm a big fan. I think he's worth every penny. I think he's absolutely unbelievable. But we will see how good he is. Because remember, Phil, the Madden curse is still a thing.
Yeah, but like the Madden curse, I mean, a couple of years ago, Patrick Mahomes was on the front and he won the Super Bowl that year. So,
We have a big feature in the future regarding the Madden curse, and then we'll see basically try and prove it's not a real thing or not.
Can we do that in the next couple of weeks? Well, I'll
that
go
was
through all the Madden. Yeah, let's do that, and let's go back to all the beginning from the first John Madden football game from the late 80s, and let's actually have a look to see how those players got on.
Say what?
No. We are the only reason. We are the only reason, like that Trent Dilfer is even remembered. Okay, not even the Ravens fans remember him.
I'm going to be very honest here. I didn't even remember Trent Dilfer until you guys started talking about him, and it's like, oh fuck yeah!
There we go. There we go.
Right. As I said a few minutes ago, we have decided to do the offensive team of the decade, starting with the 80s, going through to the 90s. Baby has passed on his noughties. And I've just got in my head.
Baby and naughty, thanks for that.
Baby's got noughties. And Shano is finishing up with the teens and the 20s, because we can't leave the 20s out, so he's compressing the last 14 years together. In your best announcement voice, Mr. Perrins, would you like to announce your team of the 80s on this?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back to a time in our sport where the 1980s ruled all. So many amazing things happened during this decade. WrestleMania began. Live Aid across 2 continents aired. And we had probably the greatest era in NFL history. Now we talk about modern comparisons between Brady and Manning, Eli Manning. But in the 1980s, there was a head-to-head battle over who was the best quarterback. So that's where I'm going to begin my offensive team. Now, for a while, I was going through names like Thiesman, not Theismann, Thiesman, who played for the Washington Redskins. I'm not picking him. I also thought about picking Dan Marino, but Dan Marino always folded when the time actually mattered. He didn't even win the Super Bowl in a fictional movie about a pet detective. Okay? I'm going with the original GOAT, 4-time Super Bowl winning champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, a Hall of Famer, Joe, wait for it, Montana. Joe Montana is my starting quarterback in this team. Any questions on that?
Can't dispute it.
No, I'm happy with that one, Joe Montana.
Montana.
You could
now,
have Montana.
My running backs, because I didn't want this to be a all 49er team, even though they were the team of the 80s and won 4 Super Bowls during that era.
So were the Cowboys, remember?
Yeah, but the Cowboys didn't win 4 Super Bowls in a decade. I could have gone with Roger Craig. I didn't. I could have gone with Eric Dickerson. I didn't.
Ooh,
I actually went with a man that they have a yearly reward based around in the NFL, and that is the great man himself.
Oh, no. Stop. Wait. Is that the same person that was in Razor Ramon's corner at SummerSlam 94 against Shawn Michaels?
That's right, Chico.
Yes.
I've gone with Walter Payton.
Yeah, sweetness.
He was part of that almost invincible Chicago Bears team of the 1985 season. He was a phenomenal player. Even before the Bears got good, he was a standout, okay? Phenomenal player.
Yeah.
My tight ends, sorry. This one's a little bit more difficult because, again, I'm trying desperately not to pick a 49ers player in this. And I actually was going through like some of like the stats. And the one player that I want to go with is somebody that played for the San Diego Chargers. That's right, fans. There were a team in San Diego. Oh, sorry, the Chargers were actually popular in another city before they went to LA. And this is Kellen Winslow. Kellen Winslow, okay? Spent a lot of time with the San Diego Chargers. Brilliant from all kind of like aspects of the game is part of like being a tight end. I've gone with now like with my tackles. I've got do you want to do both tackles, both guards, and then the centers?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't done my wide receivers yet because I'm going to save those to last. So with my tackles, I've gone with another Bears player, and that is Jimbo Covert. He was part of the team that helped protect Walter Payton and Jim McMahon, who was also the quarterback during the 1980s. I've gone with another Super Bowl champion, Joe Jacoby.
Nice. Frozen. He's so nice that he's frozen, Mr. Parent. I do love
let's kill this dead air. How's your week been? You up to much?
Mate, I'm going through the like. I've got a thing on here. What happened in the 90s and all the stuff that happened in the 90s was absolutely crazy. And this happened with James last week. It's really weird at the moment. What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, I started watching a documentary about Italia 90 on Amazon Prime. Which I think you'll enjoy that because you would have loved that.
And that's how I cured cancer. Oh my gosh, I'm listening.
You were talking about your O-line, Mr. P.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. Literally, the internet just went down while I was mid-sentence. So, Jimbo Covert from the Chicago Bears. Did you get that down?
Yes, mate.
All right, and then I've gone with a Washington Redskin who was part of the Hog Gang. Okay, so there was a team on the Redskins. It was their offensive line, and they called themselves the Hogs. And there was a big thing in the 1980s in Washington.
Yeah.
So Joe Jacoby from the Washington Redskins. Okay. Do you know, Mr. Butler Henderson, who one of the most premier guards were in the 1980s? Premier guards. And you probably haven't heard of him.
Go on then.
A guy called John Hanna. Okay. Now, John Hanna played for the New England Patriots for 12 years.
John Hanna, isn't he the narrator for Hard Knocks?
Yeah, I think he might be.
He's an actor, yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
All right, so John Hanna, he played from the Patriots from 73 till 85. He was a first-round pick in 1973, drafted fourth overall. And this is like how amazing his career is. He was put into the All-70s team, or the All-Pro 70s team. He was put into the All-80s All-Decades team. He was in the NFL 70th Anniversary All-Team. He was in the NFL 100th Anniversary Team. And he was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 1991 at the first asking. He was phenomenal player. And he spent his entire career at the New England Patriots. And then I finished off my other guard with another Washington Redskin, Russ Grimm. My center is Dwight Stevenson from the Miami Dolphins because somebody had to give the ball to Dan Marino. And then my wide receiver,
you mean he didn't do it himself?
Yeah, I know he could have snapped it to himself. My wide receiver, who do you think it's going to be?
JR.
Drum roll, please.
The GOAT himself, Jerry Rice.
I could see some players being in both noughties, 90s, 90s, noughties. There's going to be a little bit of a crossover on this one.
I tried not to cross over. I tried not to be picks.
Yeah, you could argue as well, for players like, let's say, I mean, I could have thrown in Steve Young, but Steve Young, even though he played in the 80s, he was more prominent in the 90s. You could say that, Jerry Rice had he was great in the 80s, but in the 90s, he really, really pushed on. And he had one of his best seasons in 1994. So, yeah, we're definitely going to see some crossovers, especially with players like Tom Brady as well. Like, I'm expecting Brady to come up on someone's list.
Is Ollie's first name on a sheet?
Well, it can't be for me in the 90s, mate, because Brady didn't even play in the 90s.
Now, the 90s is going to be interesting because I really want to know. I really want to know because I think I could probably guess who your quarterback is from the 90s.
Hold that thought, Mr. Parents. Okay, so in the 1990s, we had the birth of the Super Nintendo.
Yes!
The birth
The
birth of Harry Potter. And Hogwarts was formerly known. Google, which is what everyone does nowadays, or just ask Facebook. But Google came first, and it was in the 1990s.
Wait, are you saying that the Hogwarts was called Google?
No.
Not a child, see, don't know this Harry Potter book.
No. We had Bill Clinton and his famous line, "I did not have a sexual relationship with that woman."
Lies.
And then, of course, we had the Gulf War #1 and #2. But more importantly, our 90s team are starting at center. From the Pittsburgh Steelers is Dermot Dawson. I knew you'd like that one, Shane. Love that. I mean, great pilot. Was able to get onto the second line. He's one of the best centers I think to ever play the game personally. Absolutely brilliant player. Starting at left guard for the Minnesota Vikings, Randall McDaniel.
Oh, do you know what this reminds me of? I've ever seen the Chicago Bulls come onto the court with that piece of music, which I can't remember the name of. It reminds me of that.
Starting at right guard for the Dallas Cowboys, we've already mentioned him tonight, Larry Allen. We've already said how good this guy is, protecting Romo, protecting Troy Aikman. Team in the 90s, team in the noughties. Brilliant player. Absolutely love this player. Starting at right tackle for the Miami Dolphins is Richmond Webb. Love this guy.
Nice.
I shouldn't, but he looked after Dan Marino like in the back end of the 80s and early part of the 90s. Kept playing for a good few years into the 90s as well, and was an absolute brilliant player. Starting now at left tackle from New Orleans Saints, Willie Rolfe. I hope I pronounced that right. I feel really bad if I don't. But yeah, he's another great player. Was set the left tackle. So he's one of the ones that put it into the right way. One of the ones that made left tackle a needed. One of the ones that set the bar for these high ones. Shane, stop being a child.
I don't,
I don't say anything. So I'm going to do my wide receivers first because my tight end, I think there's going to be a bit of argument about a certain tight end not going to be enjoyed by a certain guy to the right next to me. So WR1 or WR2, I haven't decided which is which yet, but starting for the Dallas Cowboys, WR1 is Michael Irvine.
Ooh.
What a good guy. I mean, such a good guy. I mean, he was so good. He gave it to the guards in the longest yard as well. Even when he's inside his side, he's still scoring touchdowns. WR2 could be arguments for WR1. It is the great Jerry Rice out of San Francisco.
Wait a second. It could be argued to be WR1.
I could put Mike Irvin or Jerry Rice in WR1 or WR2.
Can I just ask as well, like who were like? I mean, obviously they are definitely 1A, 1B for argument's sake, 1A, 1B. Who was like? Did you think about like who else might have been a contender? Because like that was the one thing I thought about going through mine, like especially from like that quarterback position. Yes, Montana and Marino stand out, but like who else was like prominent? You could probably say like Phil Simms. That was one that I left off, but like Chris Carter, like
Chris
he had,
Carter,
he was
Tim Brown.
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
Just name two.
Well, I was going to say for quarterback, I'm wanting to see who's going to have.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Going into the tight end position, I was never, ever, ever going to choose this guy because I hate him on the telly. I have gone for, from New England, Ben Coates.
What about Brent Jones?
What are you waiting for?
So when I've gone through this, he is the second team in the 90s. Shannon Sharp's the number one. Ben Coates was the second.
Sorry, Super Bowl winner Shannon Sharp.
About this.
3-time Super Bowl winning Shannon Sharp.
Yeah. 499 receptions, 5,555 yards, 50 touchdowns. He had a phenomenal career through literally, he played from 91 to 2000.
9 years.
He had a phenomenal career, and he had to put up with some of the dross of quarterbacks we had going through that time, up to Drew Bledsoe.
And including
More running backs. Again, these are running back 1A, running back 1B. 1A and 1B. It is that close. From the Dallas Cowboys, I have gone for the great Emmitt Smith.
How can you not? How can you not? Well, I don't know, mind. There's somebody else that could probably be considered as 1B.
Exactly. Going now into Detroit. Human joystick himself, Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, I've left quarterback last. There is literally, I could have thrown half a dozen names into the hat, pulled one out. Yeah, that's good enough. So I looked over the stats, looked over a couple other things and who the players were and all the playmakers were, and I boiled it down to two. Who do you think those two are, Mr. P?
Who do I think? What, the two quarterbacks?
Yep, I've brought it down.
Well, I actually had like three down. That
Gone again.
He's gone again. Shane, do you want to think? Oh no, he's back. Who do you think they're after though? He's gone again. This is gonna get quite amusing, actually.
I think you want to. I bet he haven't paid for electric. That's why it's so dark in his house too.
Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is, Dana? Who do you think I've chosen?
It is so much choice from the 90s. It's insane. Back now, go on, Phil.
No, he's going to be one of them things. I have chosen. He's upsetted Green Bay fans. He upset Minnesota fans. But I've chosen Brett Favre.
Yes.
I went Brett Favre.
Quarterback.
I did think like, all right, who do you like, subjectively think about? All right, Steve Young. I mean, Steve Young is Steve Young. Troy Aikman, you can make an argument for. Brett Favre. What's his name in Denver? Whose name I've just forgotten?
John Elway.
John Elway. I mean, he had a great decade, but yeah, I mean, Brett Favre is. I mean, kudos to you for mentioning Brett Favre on air in 2024.
I know, right? I do have babies. Team of the Noughties.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do what I did last time because my voice is starting to hurt. But
that's better.
We have got starting at center for him. We have got the great Alex Mack.
Yes.
In right guard, we have got Logan Mankins.
Ooh.
Left guard, we've got Marshall Yanda.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Yep. A left tackle, Joe Staley. He's a bloody good tackle. At right tackle, we got Jason Peters, who for some reason when I wrote it down, I put it down with 2 T's when it definitely is 1. Quarterback is obviously he's gone for Tom Brady. Could have been Brady, could have been Manning, could have been so many different breeds. The guy who's got 1,700 kids and played for so many years for Dallas in LA, Chargers. Phil Rivers, that's his name. At running back, he's gone for AP, Adrian Peterson. Now, bit of controversy here. He actually put 2 names down for running back. He had 12 players on his team, so I've trimmed it down to AP. He's got 3 wide receivers, but at tight end, he went for the great Antonio Gates.
Not Tony Galles.
Legend. No, he didn't go for Gonzalez. He changed it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He didn't even go for Steve Hutchinson, the guard out of Seattle and Minnesota, which really shocked me as well.
Yeah. So what was his wide receiver? Sorry, because I missed that.
His wide receivers are at 1, the great Randy Moss.
Good.
He never won a Super Bowl though. He never won a Super Bowl, Randy Moss.
I know, considering like that he played in New England, he played for Minnesota, he played for the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and yet he never won a Super Bowl. Like
mad. Absolutely mad.
It would have made sense if you played for Buffalo for 4 years.
Yeah. WR2, he went for Larry Fitzgerald.
Not T.O.
WR3, he went for Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
Oh.
No Marvin Harrison, no T.O., no Torrey Holt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put these all up, and I'm gonna get them all up, and I'm gonna put them on the on our socials over the weekend. Hopefully, if I get some time, I'll get them on over the weekend. Definitely before our next show. Hit him with it because he has missed out some massive names for this one. You know, there's no Jamal Lewis, there's no Sean Alexander, there's no Egan James, no Walter Jones, no Jonathan Ogden. Woody Rofe wasn't there. No Larry Allen either. Calvin Maui from Seattle and New York and Tennessee. Massive names missing out of this team. Massive. What are you playing at, Baby Hope? What are you playing? I gave you the naughty because I thought that would be the easiest one for you.
Funny, NFL, the podcast now is 3rd in the list of priorities these days. You know, working on, you know, it's kind of kill us.
Working on,
I see what's going to be interesting when he picks his NFL team of the 2000s defense.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Like I'm just thinking, like, who is he going to miss out? Not who's he going to include, but like, who's he going to miss out?
That's the bigger one. I mean, because there is so many good players in the North.
I would say, in argument's sake, and then we'll come on to you in a second, Shayna. But like in the early 2000s, you could argue that the defensive players were bigger names than you take Manning and Brady out of the equation. You could probably argue that 100%. The defensive players were the superstars, like Strahan, Ray Lewis, Urlacher,
Charles
Ed
Woodson.
Reed, Polamalu, like these are all legendary. Ray
Lewis.
Ray Lewis. Well, I said Ray Lewis, but like Patrick Willis,
Julius Peppers, Dwight Feeney.
Yeah,
there is some big names in the noughties. I'm just like, who the freaking hell are you going to leave out, man?
Joey Porter. Oh, I can't believe I'm just looking at Joey Porter. I love Joey Porter.
I know. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Right.
But either way, come at us.
Over to your team of the North of the teens and
last 14 years. Well, I had picked them, but Baby had copied 2 of my players, so I'm taking one out and one in. All right, I need to take one out and leave one in. My formation is the I formation, by the way, and will be accompanied by, let's see, Mr. Perrins knows his piece of music. It is the Survivor Series music from the early 90s. Remember? You know, remember the old intros he used to do?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with, I'm going to start with my defense. Left tackle from the Los Angeles Rams, Super Bowl winning Andrew Whitworth.
Nice, love that.
And for my guard, for my left guard, Dallas Cowboys legend, never trust a man with two first names, Zach Martin. And a center, speaking of wrestling, someone who turned up at WrestleMania 40 this year, Philadelphia Eagles icon and brother of a bellend, Jason Kelsey.
We have got Kelsey on next week. Just I wish we had.
But I'm not going to be here, so lucky. And right guard is, there was a hole in the Baltimore offense when he left, and he's lost about 4 or 5 stone and looks amazing these days. Ladies and gentlemen, Marshall Yonder, number 76.
He looks so good. He looks so good.
Fantastic. And then
that's your first right crossover.
So I know, I got another one, but I might change it. And my right tackle from the Cleveland Browns, Joe Thomas.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
and my tight end, right? Who I thought of, and his name was on the sheet even before I picked the book up, right? Do you remember in the 2000s and when they do like the players' introductions on the screen and they say, I don't know, Ray Lewis from bloody Miami University?
Yeah.
There was one guy that questioned who he was. He used to go, I'm Tony Gonzalez. So yeah, Gonzalez.
Yes.
And I'm going to continue with my wide receiver. Yeah, they're on YouTube. They're hilarious. Continue with my wide receivers. I'm going with a 2 wide receiver set. Well, my wide receiver 1 is Houston Texans icon, which people seem to forget about. Carried the team on his back for years, Mr. Andre Johnson.
Nice.
Love that.
My receiver 2 is an absolute beast of a human being. He is as much of an icon in Detroit as RoboCop himself, Alex Murphy. He is Megatron. He is Calvin Johnson. And yes, I did do that well. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going with a fullback and a running back. So my fullback, my fullback is probably the best fullback in the league right now and has been for a while. He played for both my beloved franchise and Phil and Baby's beloved franchise. What are you looking puzzled for? He still plays for him now.
Yeah, because I was going, who are you going to because I didn't hear you say my beloved franchise. I was going you're not known for having a decent fullback. But yeah, go on, keep going.
yes, keep going. Don't know. Yeah. So yeah, of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk. And my running back, right, when I first started watching NFL, this may be not in the right time scale, but I love this bloke. He made me fall in love with the game. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, I got to be a fan of this game. I was almost a Chargers fan just because of this man. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, one of the top 5 running backs to ever play the game, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh, nice.
So
I passed that. Sorry, I'm finished yet.
I'm just going to... I know.
Okay.
That was Baby Hope's other running back.
I thought it was as well. I was thinking, don't say it.
That's who he was going to go with, LaDainian Tomlinson.
So, yeah. And my quarterback for my team... Oh, wait! No way! And from the Las Vegas Raiders, with the most handsome hair and mustache combo in football, it is the man himself, Hollywood Gardner Minshew. No, it's not. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh. Well, I bet you Aaron Rodgers wishes he had a heel turn because he's got no heel to turn on, does he? Because he tore his Achilles bell.
He turned on and it fell over.
Mr. Perrins.
Yes.
You dropped a question for us, lovely question, with help of your furry friend.
What
was your furry friend's name?
Tilly. So I was gonna do my question of the week whilst in front of my green screen at my school, but I completely forgot about it at the end of the day. So like when you messaged me passive aggressively, Shane, they're saying, "Oh, you're gonna do your
Come on, then.
your question." I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do it." So like Tilly's on me because like my cat has like serious FOMO. So when I get home and I sit down, she instantly just has to jump on me, and then she just curls up and she's
Is that in between biting you, or is that in between biting you and your house guests, or what?
Yeah. Oh, well, you've been down. You've seen what she's like. You've
She fucking
literally
bit
seen
me.
Yeah, no, she beat you. She followed you right. She didn't like you because you were stealing attention from her. And it's like she's on it, and literally, I'm about to press record, and she just sticks her paws out and just puts a pause on my mouth, and I went, well, I already pressed record, and I'm going, So the question was, what was the last NFL team to fold, not relocate and change names, completely go bust and go under? Okay. Did we have? Because I haven't looked since yesterday. Did we have anyone that gets the right answer?
So we've had no one having the correct answer. We've had some guests of teams, like obviously you got the Oilers.
Yeah, he went on to become the Titans.
The Titans. No, the Titans moved, my friend.
Yeah, and that's what I said. They went on. Yeah.
Obviously, then we had like people going, "Oh, what about Buffalo? They disappeared." No, they didn't actually disappear. They just during the war they just packed up like a lot of other teams did.
Yeah.
But
because a lot of their players had to go to D-Day.
A lot of people going, "Oh my god, this is the hardest question I've ever heard." I mean, it's so hard. You're shocked, Phil, into freezing isolation.
He's like, was that blonde chick's name on Frozen? I can't think of her name.
Elsa. Sorry, Elsa.
Yeah.
So going back, so the last NFL team to fold was the Dallas Texans. Oh, but there's a team called the Texans now. Wrong. There is a team called the Houston Texans now, but they have nothing to do with the Dallas Texans, who were around during the 1960s.
50s, wasn't it?
It was the 50s. Now, when they got sold, so when they completely just liquidized, the assets that were left were the basis and the foundation for what eventually became the Baltimore Colts.
Oh, which eventually became...
then eventually became the Indianapolis Colts. So without the without the Dallas Texans folding, we wouldn't have the Baltimore Colts, which means that we wouldn't have the Indianapolis Colts, which means that we wouldn't have the Baltimore Ravens. So the Ravens purely exist because a team in Dallas folded. How insane is that? It's like a weird domino effect, isn't it? Like, it's brilliant.
I mean, we all know about the story about the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
Custom lift to go to Baltimore.
We should do an episode on it.
Do you know what? We should actually do like our own chosen biggest NFL feuds. Like whether like it's player versus player or teams versus teams. Like what are the biggest NFL? Did we do that in the offseason last year?
Can we do Odell Beckham against Kicking Net?
Can we do Antonio Brown versus CTE?
How do you Tyreek Hill again?
Right.
You Tyreek TSA.
We've had a comment come in for you, Shano.
Why?
Spell your fullback's name without looking at your notes.
Okay. JUS is a 6 in there somewhere. I don't know.
How many points would he get for Scrabble with that name? A fucking shitload.
Boys. I mean, did I tell you I actually accidentally ingested a couple of Scrabble tiles the other day? No word of a lie. Honestly. When I went to the toilet, it spelled disaster. There you go.
Right. Very quickly before we say goodnight for the show, we obviously did drop guest the player. Player 1 was drafted by Green Bay Packers, played for Kansas City Chiefs, and is now currently, or was, his last team was Buffalo Bills. Any idea, gentlemen?
I was stumped this week, but Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
no, I'm normally quite good in those, and no.
Valdez Scantlin.
Oh,
Yeah. Quarter player number 2, out of Alabama, was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. Went to Jacksonville Jaguars before he went to the Tennessee Titans.
Calvin Ridley.
Spot on, my friend.
Yes, I was a guess as well.
Last player. Penn State. Baltimore
Okay,
Ravens.
obviously.
Oh, my screen's just gone off. New Orleans Saints. Now the Denver Broncos. He was an undrafted free agent by Baltimore
So we picked him up.
and was on your practice squad. Never kicked a ball for you, or even threw
Jesus.
a ball or touched the ball.
I would know then.
He's famous for wearing the black and gold.
Oh, Taysom Hill.
Not
No.
quite.
I
No,
thought
no,
Taysom Hill.
No, he's not.
That's
Taysom Hill's still in bloody New Orleans.
Kicker.
Kicker. Oh, Will Lutz.
Well, that's yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, nice.
He
Look
was,
at me.
he was he was undrafted by the Baltimore Ravens and was on their practice squad, but then obviously there was picked up by New Orleans in the same year he was on your practice squad. So literally straight out of college.
Let's be
And then
real.
became a legend in New Orleans. Obviously, so many years with him and Drew Brees, and now he's reunited with Sean Payton in Denver. So yeah, I love doing that. It's one of the best things I love doing, and seeing all these people going, is it so and so?
I do love them. And you know what? It makes it even better when people don't like cheat and just go straight to Wikipedia. It's actually quite nice.
Yes,
like...
Jason.
Yeah.
So who's doing a question of the week next week then?
That'll be you.
It's me again.
It's you again.
Christ, that's come wrong quick.
No. We haven't had Baby, have we?
Baby did it last week.
Yeah, that's right. Hi, guys.
Oh, that was Baby last week. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hi, guys. It's Ollie from the Third and Long.
Stop.
No, you can't do that. It's got too much emotion. No.
All right. Speaking of next week, it's going to be Is it a 3-man booth next week, potentially? Because I'm not going to be here. I will be making my yearly pilgrimage to Castle Donington to download once again, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. So, yeah, I will be...
I won't be seeing you till Sunday, so I am sound as a pound.
Shh, Kurt still don't know. Shh.
Oh. Well, get to not listen to the last...
2 minutes of the pod.
Yeah, last 2 minutes of the pod.
So I'll cut him. I can edit it. It's fine. It's fine. This is ended. Right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for watching, tuning in to our wonderful faces and listen to our teams of the decades. Please feel free to tweet at Hopi something. He's on our Twitter. Go and find him. At your disgust of his team of the noughties. I will be putting them all up. I'm going to do something and play around with it and do something and on the sheet, on the computer. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Good night and stay safe.